Hey guys, and welcome back to the Geeks of the Multiverse channel. And today we are back with another Falcon and the Winter Soldier after show. A little bit later than last week's, but oh well, it is what it is. Today we are back for episode 4, titled The Whole World is Watching. As always, I'm joined by my partner here on the channel, Will. Say hi, Will.
Hello there.
What do you think of this episode, Will?
It was good. It was the best one so far by a mile.
Absolutely.
Absolute
Absolutely.
mile. But I
Yeah.
was excited for this one because Zemo is in it again, and he's just the best. He is just the best.
I was just about to say he is the best character in this entire show. I love this guy. I love this guy so much. If it wasn't for Thanos being such a compelling and well written villain, he'd be my favorite MCU villain. I love this guy.
I mean, he's more of an anti-hero at this point
True.
in time. In Civil War, no, but in this one, yes.
He's just such a piss taker. I love it.
He's got like the right level of like comedy to mix with to mix with like seriousness. It's really good. It
It
is
is.
big
Yeah.
props to the guys who wrote his character in this because he is fantastic, man. And Daniel Bruhl, the actor, he is also breathtaking.
He is breathtaking. Yes, indeed. I feel like he's. I mean, obviously, I haven't seen him in too much, but I feel like he's kind of an underrated actor. Like the guy is sick.
Yeah,
Uh, and the way he plays Zemo, oh man, he's almost like a Loki character where he's kind of a dick, you
yeah.
know. But he's actually like, the things he was saying. Is it bad that we'll get onto this what he was saying later, but is it bad that I kind of agree with him and I kind of I see his point of view is just like I just take it on. I'm like, this is really interesting.
Well, like his whole like super soldier obsession.
Yeah, well, it's just like the things he says. Like, fuck it, we'll talk about it now. Like when he was on about anyone who's a super soldier, kind of has has some darkness in them and stuff like that. And they mention how Steve Rogers and stuff like that. And he's like, yeah, but there's never been another Steve Rogers. Like just that whole kind of argument there. I was just kind of like, damn, the guy's kind of right, you know.
Well, I mean, they don't have a track record of great super soldiers, really. Like, I do see where he's coming from in that point because Steve and the guy from episode 2, um, Elijah, or is that his grandson?
Oh right, yes, yes. Isaiah.
Isaiah.
Isaiah, is it?
Yeah, I think so. Isaiah Bradley. Um, he's well, we don't know too much about him, but I'm guessing that he wasn't exactly bad. So, and also no one knew about him, so that probably
Yeah.
works with that as well because he probably wouldn't know. I'm guessing that by the end of the series, he's either going to go back to prison or just runs off because why not?
Thunderbolts, thunderbolts,
And that
thunderbolts.
he's got. I think Ross will also appear at some point in the series. He's got
I
to.
mean, I wouldn't be
He's got to.
surprised.
He's got to.
Just send him back to prison and have Ross, just like Civil at the end of Civil War with Steve, just walk up to the cell, be like, "Well, I need you, mate."
You like life out of prison? Come on, dude. He just turns
It's just
into
gonna be
Red Hulk like on the spot.
me waiting for James Gunn to direct a whole episode of just Daniel Brühl dancing.
Of course.
Which, I mean, to be fair, James Gunn did originally come to Marvel Studios to direct the Thunderbolts. He pitched that, but he ended up getting Guardians. So,
That's probably a better choice. That probably worked out better for him.
I mean, from what we're looking at with Suicide Squad, though, which is essentially DC's Thunderbolts, he's doing a pretty good job of that too.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But yes, anyway, so this episode kicks off with a scene 6 years ago in Wakanda. And I think this scene is incredible. Like, this is like some WandaVision levels, of emotion, you know?
Yeah. He's crying because she's doing like the commands for like setting him off,
Yeah.
and then
He's fine.
he's fine. Well, he's crying because I guess he's like moved on and like remembering everything.
And he's kind of happy as well. That it's kind of
Yeah,
it's kind of out of him, you know? And that's pretty sick. Like, I like to see these moments in the MCU. It's amazing how much Marvel TV is now diving into mental health. I think
Yeah,
that's really important.
I think that that scene was really good and really well acted by him. Like that
Yes,
was
absolutely. I
crazy.
mean, just to kind of like, just to cry like that, and like that, almost just that overwhelming sense of relief is yeah, brilliant from Sebastian. Really, really good. And I hope to see more of this. And this is exactly why I love that Marvel TV is now so much more linked with Marvel Studios in terms of like we're now getting to see these characters. I don't want to say in their downtime, but kind of yeah, like in their downtime, this is them in their most personal moments. You
Well,
know?
uh, Bucky doesn't really have a downtime though, because remember in the first episode, and he's like, I think it's the therapist is like, what do you actually like do? You just go from battle to battle. Someone said it. It might have been him
He
actually,
was
but
like, yeah, that
yeah,
Wakanda was the only peace I ever had. I've
yeah.
just been going from battle to battle all my life.
He's kind of lost in his life still, and now he's back in like action, I guess.
Yeah, which would be interesting to question on where he will leave off, where he will kind of where we will leave him by the end of the show.
Well, the
Because
thing is, there's only 2 more episodes. They don't even have the shield yet. I'm guessing that'll be at the end of the next episode because, what we'll talk about in a minute about the ending of this episode will kind of snowball into what's going to happen soon. But he's he's gotta move on. Like it's obvious that Sam's gonna get the shield, um, but he's either gonna like help Sam out or just kind of go back to Wakanda. I think that's what we spoke about last week. That he'll just
yes,
end up back in Wakanda.
it's a strong possibility. It's just it really I really don't know where this show is kind of going. I mean, as you said, we'll talk about it later with that the whole ending and where we think we can see it going in the future episodes. But yeah, that's a really interesting concept. And speaking of Sam and getting the shield and stuff like that, we see more of him and his kind of talking about why he didn't take it and also like also about like the fact that he's not a super soldier, and which is why I even years and years ago, I like back in like 2014, like after Iron Man 3, I remember thinking I was remember thinking that like because he threw the arc reactor away, I was thinking like how these characters are kind of moving on and stuff like that. I always thought that like these characters, when if they had to be done again in terms of legacy, it'd be interesting to see different types of characters take the role. Like for example, Sam isn't a super soldier, whereas Bucky is. So if Bucky were to take the shield, you're just kind of getting more of the similar sort of Captain
Hmm.
America. But with Sam, it's completely different.
Well, he's got like the wings and stuff. So yeah, I see what you mean though. They go with Bucky and he becomes Captain America. Then it feels like more of the same.
Yeah,
And then
absolutely.
with Sam, it's like a very different path to go down. But they'll
And
handle it well.
he does mention in this episode when Zemo asks him if you were given the opportunity to take it, like take the serum, would you? And he was like, no.
No.
I don't know. I don't know if. Do you believe him on that? Do you believe he wouldn't?
I'm not sure. Um, it depends because if he felt like he really would have changed with it, then I guess. But I'm not sure if he would have or not because if you think back to the start of Civil War, I'm sure he would have wanted to raise Steve properly. Uh, when they were uh doing their uh training stuff when on your
Yeah,
left.
I feel like these. I feel like the past few years since we've met him until now, he's changed a lot as a character and grown. And yeah, I feel like he feels the weight of it so much so that he probably wouldn't like the weight of the responsibility. He probably wouldn't take it. Maybe I don't know. It's an interesting conversation. But yeah, speaking of Zemo again, because he's the best character. Um, we and obviously bringing it back to Wakanda as well. We get to know that obviously he is responsible for the death of King T'Chaka.
We knew that from
Um,
Civil War.
Obviously, yeah. So that's why the Dora Milaje are after him, and hence why we saw Io. I think Bucky
Yeah,
pronounced it as.
yeah.
I think he pronounced it as
Ayo,
Io.
Ayo.
Yeah. So that's why we saw Io at the end of last week's episode. And in this episode, there's sort of like a ticking clock. Like she gives him 8 hours to sort of do what he needs with Zemo, and then they're taking him.
Well, she
Well,
says that he's like under their protection or something. Not protection, but like
under their guard,
guard. Yes.
their watch. Yeah. So this episode sort of has a sense of urgency to it in terms of like we need to get Zemo and do what we need to do to find out where Carly is and so forth. But in that you have all these interferences from Captain America and Battlestar, and I really liked how they sort of just show up. They're like, oh, fuck this guy again.
Yeah, they just sort of like appear as they're walking down the street. Like we feel exactly what Sam and Bucky and Zemo are feeling when he just kind of shows up.
Yeah, every episode, man. Like every episode when they meet up, it's just like, oh, this fucking guy, man. So that's fun, and we get to see them sort of work together in a sense, but not really work together. Like it was cool seeing them together.
Yeah,
but obviously they have very different goals and in what they're trying to do, and this leads to this big sort of big ass battle really between the Dora Milaje, the sort of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Zemo sort of team, and then obviously Cap and Zemo, Cap and Battlestar. And that was really fun. And I love how he's just like, Sam's just like, listen, man, you don't want to do that. You don't want to fight these guys.
It's because he seems to have like some weird obsession with like super soldiers, and that the only people that he can't beat are super soldiers. But he just gets his ass handed to him. Like at the end when he just gets beaten up and they grab like the shield, they're gonna like walk off with it. I'm pretty sure. I mean, it is vibranium, so it's technically their stuff, but they just beat him. And then he's just he is fucked after that. That just causes what happens later in the episode to just spiral out of control.
He's so depressed after that. He's like, oh, but they weren't even super soldiers.
But I hope that, well, he doesn't know who they are, but I mean, if he did, he probably wouldn't have taken them on.
I feel like he knows who they are because obviously he's like the Dora Milaje, you don't have jurisdiction here, and they're like, I don't give a fuck, mate. But he just doesn't quite know what they're capable of. I mean, why would you? To be fair, like they are exceptional fighters, like, and you wouldn't expect it, like for anyone just like who's not a super soldier to be that good. Like, oh, they're so badass. They are so badass.
They just kind of show up in this episode, but
they whoop some ass.
Yeah, but Walker though, he is losing it.
Oh, he is, absolutely. I love that little taunt from Bucky where he's like, yeah, keep going, John, you're doing great. It's like, oh god.
Oh. But no, and then later in the episode, they're like, Sam is talking to Carly, and then he's like, oh.
And he's talking her down, he's doing a good job.
Yeah, and then he's like, oh, 10 minutes, and then it wasn't even like 10 minutes. And he just kind of strolls in, and he's like, you're under arrest. But just before that, I don't know what's happening, but they like talk. It's when Bucky stops him from going through the door, and then he turns around, and he's just like, no. He's just losing it.
Yeah, he's got some like weird. He must have like some kind of like voices in his head or some shit. Like my guy's crazy, and he hasn't even taken the serum. He's just like fucking mental.
He's just there like no. But
he's like pacing and like yeah, he's not right. I mean, maybe this is kind of like what Sam was afraid of in a way. Like obviously, yeah, there is obviously the issue of him feeling like, oh yeah, a black man taking on Captain America's shield, you know, there'd be backlash in terms of that. But also maybe he was worried in terms of like losing it and not like buckling under the pressure like Walker clearly is. Like he starts off this show like, oh yeah, I'm Captain America, I'm amazing, look at me. And then every episode, it's just kind of like he's slowly like descending more and more into madness.
And now he they have like a little fight with Carly and a few of the Flag Smashers, and then he gets a serum that Zemo didn't manage to destroy because he's just stomping on them all.
Which, speaking of which, I take big issue with the fact that you just lobbed a shield, a vibranium shield, at Zemo's temple, and Zemo just didn't die. What's up with that?
Oh man.
Like, I take huge issue with that. Like, how is he not dead?
Zemo is just too good.
Like, that shield can't be very lethal if it's just not killing people when you lob the shield at their head.
Well, that was before he took the serum, right?
Yeah, but still, come on. Yeah. Oh well, it is what it is. And I suppose, as you say, the serum does play a big part into the power behind the throw, which we get to see a lot of in that last sort of sequence. Yeah, that was pretty mental. Jesus Christ, you want to talk about that?
Well, what, like the very end?
I mean, up to you. Do you want to get onto that, or do you have anything else?
I don't think so. Oh, Sharon's in this episode for like 20 seconds.
She is, and she says something that kind of caught my eye. I can't remember exactly what it is, but it was like, the power broker knows, and he's pissed, and he's after you, and whatever. How does she know that exactly?
You killed the golden goose. The power
broker.
It's because they killed the golden goose.
Ah, yes, the golden goose. I just don't trust that lass anymore.
Yeah, I don't think she's the power broker, but she knows of them, or she works for them.
Yeah, definitely. Unless like the power broker is a bit like what they're doing with the Flag Smashers, where it's no longer just one person like it is in the comics. It is like
a group.
Yeah, kind of thinking like a council of, like a cult type thing, where it's like a council of power brokers, you know.
That just reminds me of Hot Fuzz, where there's like the council.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Village. And they're all just kind of the greater good.
Oh man. Actually, before we get onto the end, because there is another character that we've neglected in our little discussion so far, or sort of neglected, Carly and the Flag Smashers, who actually feature quite heavily in this episode.
Well,
what are you thinking?
She's taken the serum, and it's obvious that she's kind of also losing it, because now she's just going murderous and killing people. And she's like, she threatens to kill Sam and Bucky. She's like, you are just a tool in the way, and I will not feel anything if I kill you. I mean, I think she's kind of lying there just to threaten, because she's scared, I think, and that she doesn't actually want to kill them, because she sympathizes with Sam when he's talking to her earlier in the episode. But he's like, when he's trying to play her down and stop her from killing stuff and killing people and blowing stuff up, but I don't think that she would kill him, and I think that she still has like a bit of her humanity, I guess, left in her, because obviously is it like her adopted mom, kinda?
Yeah, kinda, yeah.
Yeah, her. She's.
Mama Donya.
I think that she can sympathize because Sam has similar experiences, kind of, with what happened to her, and like his auntie he talks about in this episode. When
I thought he was talking about his sister when he was like.
No, like earlier, like when Sam was talking to like Zemo.
His TT.
His TT.
His TT.
Yeah,
absolutely. Like, I don't know. I feel like this episode gives us a chance to sort of sympathize a little bit more with her, sort of through the character of Sam, who's like trying to connect with her. I feel like he's sort of like I'm trying to think of the terms, like framing device, where we're trying to like, he's kind of like, he's almost like a symbol of the spectator who's trying to connect with this character that I feel like we haven't really so far. Like, I haven't really connected with her, or sort of like I understand her sort of her mission and why and the reasoning and whatever, but I've not really connected with her up until this point, where I can kind of start to empathize a little bit more and sort of feel why she's doing all this and all that sort of stuff. But I don't know, man. I'm just not a huge fan of her character. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. There's a really important line to me that kind of goes towards liking her a lot more when the guy who's like talking to her at the graveyard, and he's like, I used to be a fan of Captain America as a kid, but I didn't think there could be another one until you. And that's kind of like, to me, that's kind of like really important because she is sort of the flag smashes and people who in her situation is sort of hero. She is the sort of the Star Spangled Man, the sort of uh the
The
symbol of
symbol,
hope, if you
yeah.
will. Yeah. Without needing a shield and an actual symbol, she's kind of like their sort of hero, if you like. And I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, she's their like leader, but uh I don't know. I like I said before, I'm not sure where her character really stands because I think that she's bluffing when she's like, "Oh, I'll kill you too," and she also wouldn't be able to because Sam could just fly away, so she
Yeah,
wouldn't be
legit.
able to kill him.
I think it was more of just kind of like I could kill you, but I don't want to
Yeah.
because there's no kind of like there's no need in it. There's nothing in you or about you that's kind of like aiding my mission.
Well, she tries to kill Captain America
She does indeed.
because she's gonna
She
like
does
stab him because he's
indeed.
someone else. Like I think the other guy that gets something happens to at the end of the episode. I'm pretty sure it's him that's like holding him, and then she's gonna stab him.
Yeah, yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
His name's Nico. I looked to check if he was like a character, but he isn't. He's made for the series. He's not a
Ah,
Marvel Comics person.
oh, cool.
I just had to check, but he's just a character made for the series. Unfortunately,
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Um, I think that's about. Do you want to talk about? Do you want to talk about the way that Io just kind of dismantles Bucky's arm?
oh poor man, poor man. But
Yeah,
I
he had
mean,
no
it
idea they could
works.
do
Like
that.
she didn't want to like hurt him, so she just kind of took his arm off, which
He's just
sounds
kind of like she
worse,
wanted
but
to
it
take him
is a
by
metal.
surprise.
It is a vibranium arm, so
That is true. He's got no feeling in it, so it's kind of like I think it was more like a message, like, "Bitch, you better stand down,
yeah.
or else I'm gonna do something I don't really need to do."
Yeah, I think that's probably what was happening.
But yes, the end, because I feel like we've talked about everything in the episode. Um, the end. Oh
Crazy
boy,
man.
crazy
Well,
end,
he's
crazy end.
clearly taken the serum by this point because he's just beating up like the flag smashers.
He's doing a lot more with the shield as well. Like he's ricocheting it off people. Like he's like doing like almost like in Marvel's Avengers, we can lock on to different people and like he'll just
Yeah,
bounce back and forth between them. Like
he's clearly enhanced himself with the serum.
oh,
He's also a
absolutely.
lot stronger, and
He
he's
bends a
also
pipe.
losing his mind even more.
Yes, indeed. I mean, he wasn't very stable to begin with, but especially now, he's oh boy.
Yeah, he's completely gone because Hoskins Lamar
Indeed, yeah, Lamar, yeah.
he gets killed by Carly, I think. She
A
like
moment of silence for Lamar,
no.
my boy. I loved it. He was great. I think he was like such a nice character.
Yeah, but we don't have a moment. Um
That's true. We don't have a moment.
and then
Pause the video. Take a moment.
he's yes, do that. She kind of like she just runs off. What but my question is, why would he chase Nico rather than actually going after Carly cuz he follows the wrong person if you think about it.
That is true. Maybe he kind of just saw
Plot
red, and
armor.
it was kind of like whoever was the closest.
I get
I
it's
mean,
plot armor, so she doesn't die yet. Because he
yeah,
could have just chased her and killed her, but kind of goes after someone else, Nico, and then he chases him all the way like into like the village town center, and then magic happens. Gets the shield and just bashes it through him like time and time again.
Jesus.
He sees red like everything. He just goes ham on that guy.
He does. He goes mental. That was like, whoa, what the fuck?
Yeah,
That was
that guy, man.
that was so jarring, man. I was like,
And then he's
whoa.
just standing there, and then the shield is just covered in blood. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
that's
I mean, it
mental.
would probably be covered in more blood than that, but still, it was still like
Yeah,
awesome to
yeah.
see.
I think they're trying to put as much blood in without like going too much. So they
R
try and do
rated.
whatever they can get away with,
Yeah,
basically. Um, but yeah, that was a mental moment. I mean, I know he's a super soldier, but I also take issue. I take issue with the way the shield is sort of nerfed in a way in this show. Because like he hits Zemo on the head, he's fine. Not even a bruise, not even a concussion. And then he hits the guy, and I get the guy. I get Nico is a super soldier, right? But he hits him like 2 times before it cuts away and doesn't show the blood and the gore and what have you. And he just kind of like tries to get up from it and stop him. Like there's not even like
yeah. It's very confusing how they've written the shield in this, and it's a bit odd that Zemo gets whacked in the face with it, and then he's just kind of fine.
yeah, it's weird. I that's probably my only issue with the show. Is just that the shield is weird. Like the shield should like impale you,
Yeah,
you know, straight away,
like I
straight away.
swear,
It doesn't.
this guy should be in half. I'm not gonna lie, he should literally
Yeah,
be in half.
absolutely,
The shield went straight
absolutely.
through him.
Like even the first hit should like impale him just a little bit.
Hmm.
But like the first 2 hits, we see him trying to like get up from it and stuff like that. It's like no, 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 no,
No, no,
no.
no.
Lord,
It's
no.
like a blade. Like the end of it, it would just
Exactly.
go
Yeah,
straight through you.
it would absolutely
But
no
still,
no
he killed
question
him.
about it. He
He
did.
managed to kill him.
He did, and that was and there's a lot of people about. There's a lot of people about,
And then yeah,
and a lot of people recording. So I feel like the next 2 episodes are going to kind of go like this because obviously there's a lot of bad guys in this show and not a lot of time to kind of like deal with them all, as opposed to WandaVision, which was had a lot of time and only one villain. So
yeah.
so this is where I think it's going to go. Obviously, he's been exposed now. He is he's a bad. He's got some bad juju in him. People are recording. It's going to be all over social media, all over news, all this sort of stuff. So this episode will be taking down. We'll be taking down Walker, or this next episode, should I say? We'll be taking down Walker, and yeah, that's maybe they'll enlist the help of Carly to do it. Maybe she'll kind of like force it upon them, kind of like, no, I'm helping you because he killed my friend. But they're going to take down Walker, and then episode 6 is taking down the Flag Smashers, and we'll get a tease at the end for the Power Broker, and then that will sort of roll into a sort of sequel season or something that's going to come up in like a future Marvel project or something. That's the way I think it's going to go.
Well, I'd expect there's some sort of government reaction to Captain America, and maybe that's where Ross could like show up a little bit. Because I'm sure that they wouldn't be too happy that he's just murdering people now.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. That's big no no, big no, big no no. So yeah, absolutely, absolutely. There's going to be some government reaction, and yeah, who knows? I mean, I did hear rumors that Yelena was supposed to appear. I don't know if she still will. I think they might have, if even if she would have, I think they might have cut it because obviously Black Widow hasn't come out yet. And it was supposed to have, if COVID never existed, it was supposed to go Black Widow last May, then this in August. So there were rumors that Yelena was going to be in this show at one point. I don't know if they're true.
Yeah, if she showed up, no one
But
would know who she was really. So, that makes sense to be honest. If they did cut her from the series,
yeah, definitely. So and hey, Yelena did play a role on the Thunderbolts, and obviously the comics version is very different to the one we're getting in the MCU. So, but still, in this show, if especially if Thunderbolt Ross turns up and Yelena, we could have like 4 Thunderbolts members all in one sort of all in one foul sweep. So that's interesting. But yeah, there is supposed to be a secret cameo though in next episode. The episode's supposed to be 61 minutes long, so probably like 53 if you take away credits.
Yeah.
So that's the longest episode to date. And this one felt quite long, but this is obviously going to be a longer episode than that even. So I'm here for it. I'm here. I'm not complaining. But there is supposed to be a secret cameo that we've not heard about. No rumors have been about. It's supposed to be a Marvel Comics character that hasn't appeared in the MCU yet, and is supposed to be. There's two other things said about it where it's a character the director would love to see with the likes of Thor and fight alongside Thor, and also it's supposed to be played by a very popular actor.
It is Smiling Tiger.
It is Smiling Tiger, played by Anthony Mackie.
Exactly, he's back again.
Smiling
They're doing a
Boner.
WandaVision. I wish they'd stop teasing this kind of stuff, because in most cases people are going to get let down, whoever it is. If it isn't Hugh Jackman, then everyone will just be upset.
I don't know, though. I feel like it's all right with this, because the speculation isn't quite there on the same level as WandaVision.
Oh yeah, multiverse stuff is yeah. I get you.
And plus, I think the whole Ralph Boner thing was kind of like a one-time joke. Like, I don't think they seem like every show. It's like secret cameo. Oh,
yeah.
It's just Ralph Boner again. It's like
they gotta have
a joke.
They gotta have some like.
Need to get over it.
They gotta keep it somewhat grounded.
Yeah, I feel like people just need to kind of get over the whole Ralph Boner thing. It happened. I'm okay with it. It was a joke. I knew he was never going to be Quicksilver anyway. I just think people get a little bit too carried away with the speculation. In terms of this character, though,
it kind of takes away a bit from like the actual episode. If everyone's so focused in on like this super secret cameo from Hugh Jackman, then everyone's gonna focus in so much on that rather than the actual like episode.
Yeah, definitely. I think they should start playing their cards closer to their chests a little bit in terms of teasing things, because I mean, I think this show is. Did I read right when it's like the most popular, most watched show or something ever? Or I don't know.
Something like that on Disney Plus or whatever. Something like that. It's something like that anyway. I'm not quite sure what they actually said about it, but it's doing well anyway, which is good.
Yeah, so people are going to tune in anyway, so I don't really think you need to keep teasing this kind of stuff. Like, let it happen like in the same way as Luke Skywalker, which, yes, there were rumors about it, but there wasn't like directors and like you didn't have like Jon Favreau saying, watch out for that last episode.
Yeah.
You're going to see something. Maybe it's Jar Jar Binks. I don't know.
Who knows, dude? Who knows?
Maybe it's Mephisto in Star Wars.
Oh.
But yeah, like, especially with like, I mean, this show, I think it's all right to do this kind of thing, but going forward, I think it just depends on the show. Like WandaVision, lots of speculation. Loki, there'll be lots of speculation. I think with Hawkeye, you can kind of say, "Oh, secret cameo." With Miss Marvel, maybe you can do the same. With What If, I probably wouldn't. You know, it's just you need to kind of pick what you think is going to have the most sort of talk and speculation week to week. And if it has loads, don't tease anything. If it doesn't have loads, maybe tease a few things to get some conversation going.
But yeah, next week sounds exciting. So I guess we can wrap up here and say that we hope we see you next week.
Yes, indeed. And look out for Marvel's Avengers Hawkeye DLC coming tomorrow. It's a doozy.
It is. It's Marvel's Avengers, so yeah.
It is what it is. But anyway, I've been Brandon.
I've been Will.
And we'll see you next week.
Bye-bye. Enjoy Hugh Jackman next week. Hugh Jackman.
Thank you so much for watching. If you liked what you saw here today, then maybe consider subscribing to catch our other content as and when it releases.